Hello, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about all the books that I read in August. I'm a little late on this, but I just did all my reviews. I have all my stats from the story graph, and I have to pick some punishments, unfortunately, because I did not complete my entire TBR. So first off, let's just get into the punishments. If you don't know, I have a TBR game that I play on my channel. I also now offer the cards for sale. I have an Etsy shop. You can buy the cards. I am using my punishments today because I did not finish my entire TBR, so hence I need to pick one punishment per book I did not choose. You don't have to play it the same way as me. I have all of my decks sold separately, or you can get the entire deck, but I'll put the link down below in case you're interested. I did try to read my entire TBR, and I even read a few extra books that weren't even on my TBR, but I will start with my 2 DNFs for this month, which is why I have to pick 2 punishment cards. Number 1, I tried to read Helter Skelter. I even tried to listen to the abridged audio version, and I could not. It felt like a textbook. It was really dense, and I had no interest in it, like just trying to push through. So I will have to pick a punishment for that book because I ended up DNFing it, taking it back to the library, and it is coming off of my TBR. I also tried to read Sleepless by Romy Houseman, which I thought I was actually gonna like because I read Dear Child by that author and I really loved that book. I even picked Sleepless because of this prompt that I got in the month of August. It was a library prompt where I had to pick a book that I was excited to read, and I was really excited to read it, but when I started reading it, I just could not get into it. It was really hard for me to follow. I had no clue what was going on, and I just had to DNF it. So I am now going to shuffle my punishment cards, and we're going to pick 2 punishments for me to complete this month. I will go through all the punishments that I had to complete from last month, which I'm a little far behind on. I think I have 2 that I didn't finish yet, but that's okay. I'm gonna get those done within the next week or so. Okay, let's go ahead and pick. So first one. Okay. So this is to double up and read 2 books for my next prompt, which I already picked all of my books for my TBR for September. I always forget what month I'm in. So this punishment is actually going to be saved for when I pick my TBR for October, and that first card prompt that I get, I will have to double up and read 2 books for that. So I will be completing this in my October TBR video. Hopefully it's a good prompt, or else I'm gonna be really scared about reading 2 books for 1 prompt. Okay, next one. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this prompt is from my friend Lena, or punishment I should say. She actually has a channel here. Lena's, I can't say the word, but anyway, you guys see, I cannot say that word for the rest of the video. Okay, this is gonna be hard. I'm going to have to, at least, you know, what's really nice about this is at least one of these I don't have to do until my October TBR, and the other one I'm getting done right now. So I am going to call this a win. I will leave Lena's channel down below so that way you can go check her out. She reads very similarly to me. Let's get into the rest of this video without saying that word. Yay, okay. Okay, for the month of August, I read 9 pieces of literature, which came out to 3,302 pages. Of that, we have a whole mood going on here, and it looks like the biggest 2 moods that I had were mysterious and dark. Oh, my pace changed this month also. I had 38% fast, 50% medium, and 13% slow, which I usually don't like slow. I read 38% nonfiction and 63% fiction, and then my genres were 4 of the pieces of literature that I read were thriller and mystery. 2 of them were true crime, 2 of them were memoir, and 1 was science fiction. My ratings came in at 1 1-star, 2 2-stars, 3 3-stars, 3 4-stars. So I actually didn't do that bad. I mean, if you think about it, having 3 4-star reads is pretty good for me. So the first book that I actually did, I think I'm gonna have to redo what I just said because I said the word. Okay. All right, so the first thing that I read in the month of August was for reading a entire thing in one sitting. That was a punishment that I had to complete, and also a most recent haul. So I picked The Measure in order to complete both of these prompts, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. If you have liked John Marr's work beforehand, gosh, I feel like I'm talking so slow because I'm so afraid of saying the word, but if you have liked his work beforehand, I think that you would like The Measure. This one was definitely more character driven though, and it is not a thriller in my opinion. This has more of a sci-fi kind of dystopian feel. It has a lot of that government aspect in it that a lot of dystopians have. Everyone gets a string in a box, and they can decide whether they want to open that box and they want to see how long their string is, because how long it is determines how long you're going to live. So I really liked that aspect, but after 50% of the way through, that was just old and boring by that time, and I didn't really love following 8 characters. It was a lot of POVs for me. So I settled on a 3-star, but if you like character-driven books, then you would probably really love it. Next up, I read The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. This was actually the buddy read. I was like, was that book? Okay, this was the buddy read that we all read together in my coffee club, which is similar to Patreon. So we all read this together, but I rated it 2 stars. I liked the dark aspects of it. I thought it wasn't done very well. I was really bored in the first half, and then once it did start getting thrilling, which is about, I don't know, maybe like 70% of the way through, you never got any answers. And so I was left with wanting a lot more, and I just found it confusing and the writing very dull and boring. All right, the next thing I read was Sex Cult Nuns. This was a recommendation from one of my patrons, which is why I read this. And I ended up giving it 4 stars. I really loved it because I love reads that have cults in them. I love true crime. This one, my mouth was just like hanging open while I was reading it because it is so messed up. And if you have any triggers with sexual assault with underage children, then do not read this because that is the majority of the book. So I really loved it. I thought it was great because I didn't know anything about that cult. I didn't know that people lived that way, so I learned a lot of it. And it also read very much like fiction or like a story, which I really appreciated. Then I wanted to pick up a book. Next up, I wanted to read something that wasn't on my TBR. I wanted to read an ARC, and I ended up reading The Blame Game by Sandy Jones because it was published in August. I ended up giving this 4 stars because it was very short, quick, to the point. I really like domestic thrillers that are like that. It kind of reminds me of The Arrangement by Kirsten Modglin, and I ended up just like flying through it. I wouldn't say that I'm going to remember a lot from it within 6 months, but it was definitely one of those kind of like guilty pleasure reads where you can just fly through it. You enjoyed the story, it kept you entertained, but it's not going to be something that I'm going to like remember to rave about in the future. But if you've liked Sandy Jones' previous works, then you also might like this one because I feel like when I've read The Other Woman. It also was very fast-paced and that, like, you know, entertaining domestic thriller. All right, and then my friend Lena, who we talked about earlier, she recommended I read My Friend Anna. So I picked that up at the library and it was not on my radar before that. And I'm glad that she told me to read it because I ended up giving it 4 stars. If you saw the TV show on Netflix, I still think that you should read the book. If you've seen the TV show, I still recommend reading this because I hear that the TV show doesn't tell you the full story, and this was the actual story based off of Anna's friend. And I just found it so interesting that someone could go into that much debt helping out a friend who actually is a con artist. It is very interesting to me. I'm really glad that I read it. The audio is really great, and I recommend that you would pick it up if you like true crime. All right, then I had to finish Pieces of Her, which was a recommendation, but it was also my read of the month for July. And I never finished it, so I ended up having to add it to my TBR for August. And I finally finished it, but I ended up giving it 3 stars. This read was just okay to me. There were thrilling parts in it where I was on the edge of my seat, but in my opinion, it was way too long, and the timeline and the characters and POVs were all very confusing within it. So I had a hard time knowing where I was in the story, and I was really confused because of the timeline. The ending was even more confusing to me, and so currently I am actually watching the TV show, which I think I like a little bit better than the actual thing I read. But the daughter Andrea in it is so annoying in the TV show. I cannot stand her, so it's kind of a love-hate relationship with both forms. My read of the month for August was The Doomsday Mother, and I ended up giving this 1 star. Unfortunately, this did not fit the true crime that I usually really like. I like true crime that reads a lot like fiction, that's very easy to listen to, very easy to read, feels like a story, and this just felt like a textbook. And this just felt like a grandpa is just dumping information on you like you're in college, like a professor, let's say that. It was like a professor telling you all of these facts about something, but not in a nice story format. So I was completely bored out of my mind. I am interested in watching the documentary that's coming out on Netflix. The story just didn't do anything for me because it just felt so dull. I actually fell asleep listening to it multiple times. That's how bad it was. I had another recommendation from a patron. I lost the card though. I think I might have accidentally left it in the pages when I returned it to the library, but this was Last Girl Ghosted. I gave this book 2 stars. I gave this 2 stars because it was all over the place. It felt like it was written by 2 different people. So I really enjoyed the first 30% because it's about social media. This girl goes on a date and she starts dating this guy for 3 months. They like met on like a social dating site. He all of a sudden ghosts her without any explanation. But then we find out that an investigator is actually looking for him because apparently he has been with other girls that have gone missing. I really liked that part, but then after that, it just started turning into a background on her life and what happened when she was younger. And so it felt like the stories weren't even connected, and then the ending was pretty unbelievable and really cheesy in my opinion. So it just wasn't that great of a read, and I gave it 2 stars. Okay, the last thing that I read for this month, I did a punishment where I had to ask the librarian for a recommendation. So I actually filmed this, and it is a vlog which is up, and there is another read in there included that I am going to include in my wrap up for September, because I technically read that one in September, but I read this one I'm about to talk about in August. So I read When No One Is Watching, and I gave this 3 stars because I really enjoyed the characters in this one. Sydney and Theo were just like such a great dynamic duo. I was laughing and smiling at like their dialogue and stuff, which doesn't happen very often, but This was marketed as a thriller, and I told my librarian that I wanted like dark, disturbing thrillers and that I liked cults and true crime and stuff. And I don't really feel like what she recommended replicated the darkness that I was trying to go for, or like the thrill I was trying to go for. But you can hear all of my thoughts in that reading vlog, so you can go check that out. Okay, then to talk about my punishments, I had to reorganize an area of my house. I actually reorganized my entire closet and my entire dresser, and I did that in the exclusive vlog that I do for my patrons. So if you are part of my coffee page, you get to see an exclusive vlog every single month, and that was included in there. I also had to post an embarrassing photo on Instagram, and I actually just did that, and I posted 3 videos. Lena actually was the one that wanted me to post me singing Schnitzelbank from when I was younger. So I did that. I posted me clogging when I was 6, and I posted me singing in German in my German outfit at a Pennsylvania Dutch Festival when I was 14. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw those videos. And then I had a punishment of doing leg kicks. I actually changed this because I am pregnant now, and I really focused on trying to get in yoga, like pregnancy yoga specifically for my lower back, because I had to see a chiropractor this whole entire month for really bad back pain. So instead of me doing something like leg kicks that didn't really help me in the way that I needed to, I instead did like pregnancy yoga and back stretches every single day that I read. But I forgot to get footage of that. I was gonna get it in a vlog, and then I forgot to. So I didn't actually get this on footage, but I did do it. I have 2 other punishments that I did not get to do yet. One of them I think I'm gonna be able to do within my upside down readathon. I'm hoping, because that's currently happening right now, and it's to make someone their favorite meal. Alvin requested to have eggs Benedict, so I think I'm gonna make that for him. And then the other thing is to reorganize a cabinet. And I do have lots of cabinets that need reorganized, but I need to get the supplies for them. So I think I'm gonna do my bathroom cabinets, but I do need to work on these within the next few weeks, since I still have them as punishments. All right, that's it. It was really, really hard. I will say that that punishment was hard, to not say the word throughout this whole video. So this took me longer than expected because I was thinking so hard about it. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in another video soon. Okay, can I say the word yet? I hope so.